My dear fellow Americans from different womb, our once goody-goody United States that was a beacon of opportunity is now making the future of its youngest generations look fragile, as if nothing is ever going to come out. But it could be true, whether you like it or not. Now, my question for my dearest Americans is, how is the USA destroying the young people's future?
In a recent American Spectator article, Young Voices commentator Kate Farmer writes that more and more Gen Zers are deliberately choosing not to work. That's making mental health matters worse.
I am going to talk about the key factors that will make you rethink our country, even though you believe that Donald Trump will save you from the pit of hell. Mental health crisis among young adults. According to conducted recent studies, it highlights a devastating and disturbing trend. Young adults aged 18 to 25 are experiencing unprecedented levels of mental health issues. A Harvard survey indicates that 36% of this age group suffers from anxiety, while 29% are grappling with depression, which surpasses those of both teenagers and older adults. When I checked this, I kept on wondering about the health sector. And if you don't know, let me blow a trumpet to your ears. The health system is up. Take it or leave it. As you are heading to the hospital, they will ask you for your health insurance, and if you don't have such, good luck to you, because hospitals works hand in hand with them.
But it's important for you to know that America's healthcare system is in fact a drug cartel, okay? So you have this guy, Brian Thompson, okay? He was preparing to host the company's annual healthcare conference. He was set to announce the company's hugely profitable $450 billion projected revenue for 2025, because they're just stealing from people who don't have money, who can't afford procedures. They're owing their healthcare companies because they suddenly got sick. It is terrible.
Another contributing factors include financial stress, lack of meaningful employment, and a pervasive sense of isolation exacerbated by declining face-to-face social interactions. As you step out from your beloved house, you begin to feel the overwhelming societal pressures, coupled with unattainable housing and political instability, which will definitely further compound these mental health challenges that will take you to the hospital of which you don't have health insurance for. Health problems are no jokes in my beloved America, but looking at things with the government system, it looks as brutal as hell.
So on average, health insurance costs a lot of money, which isn't going to be news to anybody, but on average, a family of four spends about $24,000 to enroll the family. That's the amount that both the workers and the employer chip in to cover the family.
Economic exploitation, the great intergenerational theft. Young people today are the first generation in modern U.S. history to face worse financial prospects than their parents. A marketing professor, Scott Galloway, describes this as the great intergenerational theft, where policies favoring older generations, such as tax breaks for homeowners and under-regulated corporate practices, have left youth drowning in debt and stagnant wages. The professor said it right, because if you tell this young generation that they are going to buy a house, even though it is a burnt-down house, they will laugh at you. I will also laugh too, because if you check the price of houses in the market, you will rethink the purpose of your existence because it seems impossible. Skyrocketing housing costs, driven by speculative markets and underinvestment in affordable housing, have pushed every damn Americans to stay out of reach as fast as their two legs can carry them. Median rent now consumes 30% of young workers' incomes, compared to 20% in the 1980s. If your parents who lived well during the 1980s have dropped a small house for you, just take it, don't complain, and zip your mouth.
The shortage of affordable housing is forcing them to choose between basic needs and a roof over their heads.
Another annoying thing that we hate so much that looks like a rat trap is the student debts. Despite a 15% decline in college enrollment since 2010, student loan debt has ballooned to $1.7 trillion, with graduates entering a job market where entry-level wages have barely kept pace with inflation. You were told school is the way out of a rat trap, and you decided to go through the so-called good educational system, and after that, you were going through rejection after rejection, which is super annoying. Companies will be asking for 3 years' experience of that particular job, and it will come with a peanut basic salary of $60,000 per year. The funny part is, where do you want to get such experience when you are just coming out from school? It is annoying, and I can tell you for a fact that those that are in college struggling to pay their tuition fees might come out and cry like babies when they see the broken job market.
A low unemployment rate and raise in salaries for degree holders. This should be a recipe for a hot job market, but that's not the case. Experts are recommending that new graduates should stay adaptable in this challenging labor market.
Political shifts and their implications. The political landscape has undergone significant transformations, particularly influenced by the pandemic. Historically progressive, young voters have shown an increasing inclination towards right-wing ideologies. Youth voter turnout plummeted to 42% in 2024, down from 50% in 2020, with young people citing dissatisfaction with candidates and a lack of connection to political parties. I particularly remembered when young voters were saying that they wanted different candidates that can really relate to them. But when they saw the candidates, they were like, I am going to stay away this time around and let the best man or woman win. And truly, they kept to their words. Aside from those that did not even dare to vote at all, there was a report that says that nearly 1 in 3 young non-voters missed registration deadlines, while 24% abstained due to disliking all candidates. Youth of color and those without college experience face disproportionate hurdles, such as transportation issues and inadequate voter education. This means that they were people that wanted the best for America, but some devastating obstacles had to shut them down from voting. My thoughts for them is that even though they wanted to vote or not, the economy of America is not looking good because as I am speaking to you, the cost of eggs has risen like crazy. Your votes may have not done any good or bad either ways. Anyway, let's continue.
The egg prices have soared 15% in the latest US inflation report. The spike in egg prices comes as bird flu sweeps across the nation, killing millions of chickens and decreasing egg production.
The 2024 US election witnessed a narrowing gap among voters under 30, with a notable shift towards conservative candidates. This trend is not confined to the United States. Similar patterns are emerging in Europe. Factors such as economic instability, high immigration rates, and diminished trust in scientific and political authorities during the pandemic have fueled this shift. The surge in social media usage during lockdowns has also encouraged online spaces that propagate right-wing and anti-feminist ideologies. While the permanence of these changes remains uncertain, their potential to reshape the political landscape is undeniable, creating a generation profoundly influenced by the pandemic, dubbed the Generation C. While 46% of young voters participated to influence issues like climate change and healthcare, but the campaigns you saw and watched failed to address their economic realities. Cost of living was the top concern for 64% of youth, yet politicians focused on polarizing topics like immigration, which alienated struggling voters. What the politicians have for we, the beautiful Americans, is good, but looking at the dreadful economy that is flogging almost all households, they need to try harder in easing the pain that we have been enduring since the pandemic. This disconnect is exacerbated by a media landscape that prioritizes sensationalism over policy, leaving youth feeling politically homeless. As Scott Galloway warns, without urgent action, the USA risks becoming a gerontocracy, where aging elites hoard resources at the expense of future generations. The time to act is now, before the theft becomes irreversible.
What DOGE is going to do, it's going to save money, and I really believe it's already identified a lot of cost savings. The most important thing that it's going to do, I don't even think is the cost savings. It's making the bureaucracy responsive to the elected president.